out here watching snow trucks, is that what it's called? Plows? Snow plows with salt tackle this well manicured parking lot. This parking lot where my daughter works, they takes, I don't know who, if it's the actual mall or if it's a contracted group of people, but they maintain this place is always shoveled, always salted, always swept. It's so well maintained. It's like it's incredible. It just may be a reflection of the city though. It's just the outskirts of the city of just on the outskirts of Toronto. So it's really considered to be the GTA, which is part of Toronto, but they keep this place well manicured. Anyway, I wanted to apologize for not coming on last night. We must have shoveled the driveway about, I'd say about 7 times with all of us. Like I think my mom's husband shoveled 3 or 4 times. My mom and I shoveled another time. I shoveled another time by myself. There was so much snow. Absolutely nuts. Oops, sorry. So much snow. I have a selfie stick. I should get it out. So what I've decided to do is stay out here. I'm not going to drive back to the house because, first of all, I don't have anything to do between now and then until I have to pick her up. She's finished at 11. So I'm not going to go back there because, first of all, safety reasons. They haven't even salted the roads. And two, gas. So I'm going to stay out here and I'm going to catch up on some notes I want to take. I want to tell you a little story. I'm always telling stories. What the heck? Like an old lady. I got a story to tell you. Okay, so a couple days ago, I was out doing some stuff to... I can't remember if it was groceries. Yeah, it was groceries. I was getting some fruit to eat because I knew I would be in the house for a while. My hands were full with stuff. So I put the key in the door and I left the key in the door thinking that I was going to go back and get the key. But then I had a conversation at the door with my mom and forgot the key in the door. But I had known that I left it there. So the next day I saw my key on the table, but it was separated from the car key. The car key wasn't on it. So I knew that someone had found the key. And I think, in a normal family situation, someone finds the key, they pull it down, whatever. So the key was put on the table, or they'll give it to you. So I put the key on the table and I saw it. So I picked it up, but I saw the car key was missing. So I said, okay, obviously my mom took the key. It's her car, so she can have the key if she wants. It's her key. But I had planned to get some oil for the car, and because it's eating oil for whatever reason, and top up the gas because I knew I would be taking my other daughter to work the next day. So I go to my mom. I said, Mom, can I have the key? I wanted to go do some stuff to the car. And she says, what? This is what they do. What? I said, do you have the key? She goes, where's the key? Where's the key? I said, my key is on the table, which means someone in the house has the key. Someone in the house has the key because I left the key in the door. But my hands were full, and when you were talking to me, I had forgot it there. But obviously someone saw it, so where's, can I get the key? And so then she hung up the phone. She was on the phone talking to someone. She hung up the phone and went to ask my daughter. And my daughter, I guess she came downstairs and said, she must have said, do you have the key? I guess they had planned to kind of say, you forgot the key in the door. Yes, I did forget the key in the door, but I knew I forgot the key in the door. It wasn't like I didn't know I did. So anyway, I guess what they're thinking is that they have been planting these seeds of rearranging, putting things, one thing here, one thing there, messing up my stuff to make it seem as though I'm losing my mind, spilling things in the room, cutting holes in my stuff. So this is what they've been doing. So this is one, if I really did forget the key in the door, that would have been one concrete thing they could have said, oh, you're forgetting stuff. But I didn't forget, I knew. So anyway, I said, so someone has the key. So then my daughter comes downstairs and said, yeah, you left the key in the door. I said, yeah, I know I left the key in the door. My hands were full. Mommy was talking to me and I forgot. So it goes, do you need the key? I said, yeah, I need the key. So I'm thinking that they were looking for a concrete reason to kind of say she's, it's almost like there's no room for error in my life. I can't make a mistake. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So anyway, what really, doesn't matter how much God tells me to just be patient and to deal with whatever's going on with grace. If you buy something new, like a new sweater, and someone pokes a hole in it, it's almost like, like, God, why are you allowing this? Like, I would never do that to someone's stuff. This is kind of the nature of what my life has been like. Anyway, we shoveled the driveway. It's shoveled. And what's funny too? Aside to the story I just shared, the grit, the smirk on everyone's faces when they think they've gotten away with something that's cruel is absolutely insane. I don't know what part of heaven they think they're gonna go behaving like this. Like, is it worth the scripture that goes, is it worth gaining the world? Is this a scripture, or is it worth getting the world and losing your soul? I just can't believe I raised her. I just can't believe that this is like my values. I instill values in her. You know what the thing is? She's influenced by her dad, and he's been a creep. Everyone knew him to be a jerk. He was never a nice person anyway, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that when I met him until after I got pregnant with her. And then this guy told me, he goes, like, why are you going through with the pregnancy? He's a jerk. And I was like, I didn't know. And I thought I could never not have this baby. Anyway. Anywho, I'm checking in because I didn't come on last night, and I apologize. It's beautiful out here though. If you're a skier or a skater, or a toboggan. If you like to toboggan, ski, skate, this is the weather for you. This guy's trying to shove. I should get out of the way. Oh my God. I'm going to get out of the way because if I stay here, they're not going to be able to shovel this space. I don't think they could fit here anyway. I think it's okay. Anyway, I just thought I'd check in. I am not tired, although I look it. And my plan is to come on later on to talk about something concrete. I meant to talk about something more risque yesterday, but I was the snow and the shoveling. I was so pooped, and I hate coming on and going back later on and seeing how tired I was. Like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I inflicting this pain on myself to do these things? It's almost like when I went for the run and it was cold. I'm thinking, like, who am I trying to impress by coming out here running in the rain, in the snow, in the cold, and then the consequences of it, like my finger. It's ridiculous. My finger's still kind of numb a little bit, just a little tingly. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I just thought I'd do a live. Well, people are checking in. No one's really saying anything, but people are checking in. I guess people are snugging up in their beds, under their blankets, I hope. It's quite early. I feel so sad for the people who have to come out here. Like my daughter, she works in a restaurant, so she serves coffee. Her store serves coffee. She's a supervisor, so she has to be here. People who shovel snow. Toronto, born and raised. My background is Jamaican though. I have a lot of the Caribbean influences me hard and heavy. Welcome UK. What's up? What a guan? That's me trying to speak Jamaican. When I was younger, let me tell you a little story. When I was a kid, I used to speak Jamaican. I did. Because that's what I heard my parents speak. When I was at home in my little cocoon playing with my siblings. Trinidad, what? Trinidad! Hey, when I'm running, it's strictly soca I'm listening to, Strictly. Strictly. One of my favorite songs is Practice. Oh, Jamaican. Well, when a Jamaican parent raises you, you're Jamaican. That's how I see it, because there's so much principles about how I was raised that is not going to change. The GBM. That. Big up, wah. And then there's I had a friend from St. Vincent, yeah, whose brothers used to try and hit on me. They could speak patois really well, so well. Could pass for Jamaican for sure. Anyway, the Caribbean all around. Big up Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia. Beautiful. I wish I could have went to all the islands. Guyanese. Wow, yeah? Guyan the most beautiful people I think in the West Indies are the ones I've known that have had mixed, like whether like, you know, Guyanese, Jamaican, or Trinidad, you know, whatever. All Jamaican, all West Indian people are beautiful. I'm enamored with the West Indies. I'm kind of like torn because I'm kind of glad that I wasn't born there because um they're rough out there, man. Especially Jamaica. Woo. Jamaican people are rough. They're rough. I don't think I'm too soft for that. I can handle the ones out here, but in Jamaica, maybe I could have handled it. I don't know. Goat curry or curry goat. It's asking goat curry or curry goat. Curry goat, baby. Curry goat all day. Curry goat all day. When I was a kid, you know, my parents, okay, there's a place in Toronto called Kensington Market. And you used to be able to buy goats and chickens and stuff that you could take home, and you could actually butcher it at your own home. And when I was a kid, when I was about 3 or 4, I remember so vividly, because the reason why I know it's 3 or 4 because I moved to the other house when I was 4. So my uncle and my dad's family must have pitched in and bought a goat, and I remember watching them, the men in the garage, butchered this goat, cut the goat, and divided it. Like they knew how to butcher the goat, cut the pieces, and share it. And one went home, and the other one, my family took their half. It was amazing to see as a kid. So I saw stuff that a lot of Canadian kids didn't see. Like a lot of Canadian kids, I could not go to school and talk about the stuff I saw. Oh, you have an you have an accent too, pure Southern. Southerners, you have a Southern accent. Yeah, yeah, yes, I am. Well, I'm not going to work because my story is that it's right now. I'm in a period of transition. I'm focusing strictly on doing this, and I have to wait on the Lord for stuff to go down right now. So, and if you follow my journey, you know that the situation I'm in right now was not a choice. It was a situation I was put in it. It's actually the issues that I'm facing are big, like they're government level. Like my life is not private. A lot of my stuff is monitored or tampered with, and not only just monitored but tampered with. So a lot of my apps are, sometimes I'm logged out of apps. Things are maneuvered, changed, deleted on my phone, and it's at a government level. There's like police that follow me. People in the community are obviously being compensated somehow. They follow me too, and this is not paranoia. This is now concrete, like for sure. Anyway, I'm used to it now. If you don't believe in magic or witchcraft, then you're not gonna understand what I'm saying. But there are people who practice witchcraft who've been assigned to try and take my life. Can I join the live? You're here. What do you mean? Can you join the live? You're here. What do you mean? What are you saying? So I've learned that more than less of our experience in this life is spiritual. A lot of people that you see walking around here homeless or whatever didn't just you write in Patois very well. You write in Patois very well. You should write a book, like a translation book. That's a cool, you know what, I might do a video about that, the things that we say in the translation. Anyway, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here. I think that's so amazing. I revert back to and forth to my roots and to Canadian because, like I said, I was born here. This is guy I used to talk to. Well, actually, he's one of my children's fathers. He's Jamaican, and he used to pick on me because I used to sometimes speak Jamaican and sometimes not. But I'm not. This is what being born in Canada and being raised by Jamaican parents sounds like or looks like, right? I remember when I was a kid, I was going to say this story before. When I was a kid, I used to speak Jamaican clearly. Because I used to go to school and people used to say, why don't you say, can you say this? Can you say that? And I'm like, what? I could understand what their problem was, like why they were doing this. But it was because I sounded like I had an accent, right? But I was born in Canada. So I remember going home and my mom used to say to me, speak English. You were born here, speak English. And I'm thinking, it's not, even as a young person, I knew this isn't my fault. I'm speaking exactly what you guys are talking. But anyway, you hear me now, clearly English, very English. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Good morning. We're talking about West Indian culture and Canadian culture. It could be even U.S. culture and the clash, like how, not clash, but the combination of the two. Because I was born in Canada, but I was raised by Jamaican parents. But my experience is similar to a lot of people who were born in the West Indies, like anyone from Grenada, Guyana, Trinidad, etc., etc. Yeah, it's you know, I'm there's something to be said. I think that's, you know, Toronto has an accent. Toronto has a language, and it is based on this concept of the combination of West Indian and Canadian mixed together. I watch these little videos of cartoons people make about people in Toronto, how they speak, and I laugh my head off because I can hear the influence of the West Indies in the dialogue. It's quite entertaining. That is so true. I agree. Caribbean around, yeah, I believe that. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is, and there's so much music influenced by that. It's so, like, I'm so intrigued by it. I'm proud about it, and yeah, I'm proud about it. It's beautiful. There's a couple, like I said, there's a couple cartoons I watch, and I'll show my daughter. And then my daughters were like, "Yeah, mom, we know." Remember, my daughters are second generation Canadian because I was born here, and my parents were born in Jamaica. So, but I feel like a lot of my especially my youngest daughter, if you ask her what she wants to eat, she's not saying McDonald's. She's not saying Burger King. She's saying she wants rice and peas and fried chicken. She wants curry goat. And this the little one, I don't know who, like what kind of, like if she's an old soul, like from Jamaica, but she's strictly about our roots. So much about our roots. So anyway, I think there's something to be said about highlighting the combination, the generation of people who have been highly influenced by the West Indies and are born in either the U.S. or Canada. It's quite beautiful. The best of both worlds, I say. Yeah. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you all. Welcome to the family. So anyway, curry goat. Oh, and bus up shot. There's we have I love roti, right? But my preference is the roti shell that doesn't have chickpeas in it. That's called paratha, right? But I think bus up shot is the one with the chickpea inside, which I do not like. I find it's too grainy, but I do know it's filling. That being said, though, I love doubles, which is not from Jamaica. That's a Trinidadian. I think that's a Trinidadian thing, if I'm not wrong. Or Guyanese or something. I'm not sure, but I know it's not from Jamaica. Then there's a rundown, which is coconut, saltfish, and onion and tomato, thyme, all that kind of stuff. That's all that stuff I can make. My parents instilled that in me. As much as they told me that you have to speak English, you're born here. Most of what we ate, and today even still, last night they made oxtail, rice and peas for dinner. Our house on a Sunday especially always smells like something West Indian, either, you know, stewed chicken or oxtail or stewed peas or, you know, manish water. Let me tell you a story about manish water. How I got introduced to that. My God, when I first knew about manish water. Okay, so I've eaten every part of the animal. Good morning. Thank you. When I was a child, my parents when I first came from from Jamaica to here, people in the West Indies used to always have parties, right? That's how I got introduced to what's it called? Corned beef sandwiches and manish water. They usually the appetizers for parties is usually manish water and these little sandwiches made out of corned beef. Anyway, what like my dad used to always, I used to watch my dad outside fixing the car. I wanted to always help him. He's like, go inside and go help your mom. So I learned how to roll dumpling, make dumpling, rice and rice and peas, all that kind of stuff. Very young, very young. I used to help my mom. So anyway, when they were planning to have a party, one of the parties they were gonna have, my mom told me to go stir the soup. What, Jamaica? Okay, country. So my mom is from St. Elizabeth, and my dad's from Clarendon. My dad passed away though a couple years ago, and yeah. So anyway, both country folk. Although I do have family in the city in Kingston, but my grandparents raised them in the country. Anyway, my mom asked me to stir the pot, and I stirred the pot. I looked in the pot, and I saw eyes and teeth, like the ugliest teeth I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, I could not believe, and then my whole world just changed. I just thought, I could not believe that we were drinking soup from that. But because my parents were so strict, when the soup was done, I drank it anyway, and it was good. But so I've learned to stomach a lot of things a lot of people that were my age could not stomach because of how I was raised. Clarendon. Oh, that's where my dad's family. They're Henrys. So like the Henry family is supposed to be some like they're known in that area. Like, well, they were. I don't know about anymore, but my three of my aunts were teachers. I think two of my uncles were teachers as well, and very smart people, very very known in the area. I remember when I went to Jamaica when I was 8, and I met my grandparents and spent time with them. I remember something happened. They got a phone call of some kind, and they left me with my 2 cousins in the house at sunset, almost at sunset, to go deal with something. I guess my uncle must have got beat up by a police officer or something like that. Yeah, we have to. You know what? This is what I found. I'll just say it in a second. So I guess in Jamaica, when people don't like you or you're popular during, like, I guess voting time, like election time, people get killed or hung and stuff like that. So I've had a lot of experiences in my family, both sides, where people have been hung or beat up with a cutlass or something during those times. So I remember being at the house with my cousin, sitting in the house still, because I guess I didn't know to light a lantern. My grandparents didn't have electricity. So I sat in the dark until they came up the hill. Like, there was no road to come up to the house. You had to park the car down low and walk up the hill. Woo, I was 8 coming from Canada, man. That was such a culture shock for me. Woo. And yeah, I find the West Indian food is the healthiest stuff. Like, when I decided to cut out meat and just eat like veggies and fruit, West Indian food is the easiest thing to do that with. I could make ackee and saltfish. I could make breadfruit, and there's so many things you can make that's so delicious that doesn't require like meat, red meat or chicken. Saltfish, I love, because that's a little flavor, but with everything else, you could live off Jamaican food and not eat meat at all. What's that? Torso, bottled torso with kerosene oil. And what's that? So what's that for? Is that for the lantern? Bottled torso with kerosene oil. What is that? Ah. Well, I didn't know how they did it. All I know is I was too young. I was 8. So I was too young to kind of figure, to walk around my grandparents' house and do anything. And my cousins probably should have known better because they were a little bit older than me. But so we sat in the dark. Mind you, remember, these older houses in those times, they didn't have a washroom. They had an outhouse. Woo! That was so scary. It was scary. It was so dark. And then I started to have these Canadian images in my mind of scary movies I've watched. Like, oh my gosh. I don't know what happened to the house now, what's going on with the house, but I know that at the time it was surrounded by fruit trees. So when I went outside, there were so many trees, oranges, mango, grapefruit. When my grandfather sent me out to get an orange off the tree, it was it was a grapefruit. Was that a grapefruit? No, it was an orange. It was the sweetest orange. It was green, but it was the sweetest orange I've ever in my life up to this day ever had. It was so good. So good. Amazing. I love my culture. I love Jamaica. Although Jamaica might not love me so much, but I still love Jamaica. Jamaica's scary, man. People are rough out there. They're rough. We would put the kerosene oil in the bottle and put newspaper on the top of the. Oh, that's smart. Well, my grandmother. I mean, that's an idea. I feel. Yeah, they're rough. They're rough. Wow. And like I remember when I used to work at a club in Toronto that's called Club Paradise. I don't know, for those of you in Toronto who might have known that club, it was very popular. Paradise and Epiphany. I worked at both, and I worked at one, and then after when that was done, I'd go to the other one. And then I remember when like trying to navigate around guys trying to talk to me like without getting myself killed. Because like guys were like, you have to be, preserve people's ego. Like, you don't want to insult anybody, but that was my job. I'm not there to check people. But whoa, I remember thinking to myself, man. And it's being Canadian too. It's in culturally speaking, we are known to be much softer than people in the West Indies, including the women. But a lot of it too is just talk. Like a woman in Jamaica, a guy, but particularly a woman, when they're ready to tell you off, oh my gosh, woo, no way. Anyhow, my ideas of West Indies are based on like I said, my Canadian upbringing. My parents brought it with them, and I appreciate them for it. Like I said, I think the best food that we could ever have is the stuff that's from there, because it's the least tampered with. As I say that though, because they're putting in those smart cities, and and China's kind of been in there. China now owns Wray and Nephew and Red Label wine. So I don't know how pure the stuff is going to be from now on, but we'll see. We even used to put dry grass in a big oil bin and light it. Oh, is that what that was for? I remember when I was in Jamaica, we had to go, there was a funeral, and they killed a goat for, like, there's this thing about killing a goat for things like that, either funerals or weddings, but it was a funeral. And they had a barrel, a steel barrel that they lit, and I didn't understand why, but now I get it. Because I got eaten, I forgot, I must have blacked this out. I got eaten alive in Jamaica. What? The mosquitoes love me, boy. Gee whiz. That's one thing we forgot to pack. My dad packed everything else. We got new shoes, new dresses, new clothes, bows for my hair, lotion, everything, but no mosquito repellent. They nyammed me up like I was dessert. I was just, the scars I had on my body. Thankfully, my skin heals well. My skin is actually very, I'm very blessed. A lot of things that happened, I fell and hurt myself so many times, and my skin is, you can't tell. You can't tell at all. That's a blessing. I didn't know that. Gosh. Sandflies. I wonder if that's anything like in up north in Canada, they have that they call, I think they call them black flies. They're huge, and if they bite you, you're in trouble. And I learned that because one of my exes, his mother was raised up there in Muskoka, Bala. And when I was dating him and when I was pregnant with his child, I used to go up there and visit, and those flies, they bite you. It's almost like a little person taking a bite out of you. It's insane. I'm gonna Google these things, I am gonna definitely Google these things. I'm always so hungry for knowledge, especially about where I'm from and my history. I think it's so intriguing, and it's important for us to kind of, as much as we're evolving and growing and learning new things, I think it's never a good thing to forget where we're coming from. Never. Jamaican culture is so rich, and I always follow. Right now I'm following a few people who are out there rebuilding Jamaica. And how resourceful Jamaica is, I just can't get over how fast they've kind of gotten them to think. They're already like still making food on the roadside now and stuff like that. I'm so enamored with Jamaica. Let's see. Sunflies are small, and when they get in your... Oh. Ooh. So how do they deal with this? How do you, when you encounter sandflies, what do you do to deal with that? Don't tell me tea. Every answer for everything is tea. Have some Cersei. Have some mint tea. Have some, everything's tea. How do you deal with sandflies? I'd love to know. My parents, when I was a kid, whenever we got sick or they felt that we, our tummy, we haven't gone to the washroom, the answer was, I knew it was coming, Cersei. Cersei, I can't stand Cersei. Although I know it's good for me. Oh, God. Cersei's so bitter. Ooh. But it's the answer to everything. Jamaican people are some of the strongest people you'll ever meet. They're resilient. They're intelligent. Oh. Oh, I didn't go to the beach much. I had a very bad experience at the beach with my aunts. When I first went to Jamaica with my dad when I was 8, my aunt saw me and she loved me. And she would take me, she was in university then, and she would take me wherever she would go. And she said she had I guess her and her friends had a beach party at night. So she got me dressed. I got dressed and I went to this party. But I guess for whatever reason, when you travel abroad, sometimes your body responds in a way that you get sick. And I had diarrhea. It pissed her off. She was so upset. Because it was an outhouse. I had to go to an outhouse and my body was just purging. And I couldn't even clean myself properly. It was just so gross. The whole situation was just a mess. And as young as I was, I wasn't embarrassed. I felt bad for her because she had to deal with me. And then it kind of really just solidified for me how young I really was. I felt so grown, but I was still young, so young. Yeah, so that was one of my few times going to the beach. And it was at night, and there was playing music and dancing. So I didn't have a chance to really like play in the sand so much. I think maybe one experience where I collected seashells, but that was really it. Most of my time was spent visiting. We had so much family to visit. I was all over the place. Wow. A lot of walking. There is this flower in Jamaica when I was walking to church with my dad and my family that you touch it and it closes. I don't know what it's called. Do you know anything about that flower and what it's called? It was pretty, as a kid, that was so cool to see you I was always, I'm on the route now. I'm looking for these flowers to touch and have them close, right? I don't know what they're called, but they were cool. I haven't seen them here. So, pretty cool. Another thing, on this walk, there was little, like, almost like outhouses, but they were like places that people sell pop. And I remember at home, I wasn't allowed to drink pop much. I was like a treat. But when I was on this trip, when we were walking in the heat, my dad would stop and get us a pop. And you have to leave the bottle at the place. So you're expected to finish the pop at that location and then give the bottle back. Oh my gosh. I was so small. I was like, you expect me to finish this whole thing right now? It's insane. Back in the 70s and 80s, people used to mostly use in their homes for light. Oh, yeah, my mom. Oh, did they really? 70s and 80s in Jamaica? Because I think when did I go to Jamaica? I think I went to Jamaica in the 70s. Yeah, in the 70s I went. Oh, shame old lady. That makes sense. That's a cute name. Oh wow, as a kid, it was like Jamaica. When I went to Jamaica as a child from Canada, it was like Jamaica was almost like I would say a combination of Willy Wonka's factory and Alice in Wonderland. Like it was like there's so much to see, so much to learn, so much things to try. It was just, that's when I first had what's it called? Blue Mountain coffee. It was the best. Blue Mountain coffee is the tastiest thing. It was my first experience with coffee. My grandmother put so much condensed milk in it. So good. Yes, when you, and I guess they open up. They open up. I don't know if they open up in the day or what they do, like when they open up. But I knew I was walking. I was walking around looking for these things. And this is, maybe this is why my grandfather loved me so much. He must have watched me do all these things and think that this little girl's so cute. I'm walking in my little church shoes. Mind you, I got blisters. Walking around my church shoes, trying to find these flowers I could touch so that they would close. Kept me busy. So fun. I really love Jamaica. It's so beautiful. And when it rained, it was so. I remember driving, and some kind of place to go to somewhere where there was hills up ahead. It was raining, but when it's raining there, I don't know if anyone finds rain like romantic. I find rain so sensual and so beautiful. So it was raining. It's raining, but like in Canada when it rains, you want to hide. But in Jamaica when it rains, you just want to be. I wanted to be outside. It was so beautiful, and you can see how the rain made the green so much more green, and the hills were so. It was just so beautiful. Jamaica is so beautiful, man. So I'm gonna look up all this stuff now. So the flowers are called Shame Old Lady. Shame Old Lady. Another thing that I learned. And kerosene oil. I'm gonna do a little video about Jamaica a little bit. The things that people don't even know about. Breadfruit is something else. Breadfruit is so understated. People from other countries know about ackee, but no one talks about breadfruit and bummy. Bummy and breadfruit, to me, I love it, man. I love bummy. I love breadfruit. When I was doing my when the Lord led me to eat healthy, I was trying to find a way to eat bummy without frying it, because I find that when you fry it, it absorbs a lot of oil. So what I do now is I fry it a little bit to get a little bit of oil into it, and then I grill it till it's crispy, because I like the outside crispy. Jamaica is like a university of its own. Yes, it is. Because I'm going to read this. Jamaica is like a university of its own. If you're a Jamaican and you do not have street smarts, you don't have a clue about anything. It's so true. And that's why I don't go. That's why. I remember this lady, she's my uncle's wife. He strictly marries light-skinned women. There's something in Jamaica about red bone or light-skinned people like that seem to have this privilege, or they seem to think that they're better than it. I don't know what the heck that is. But if you're green or purple and you're not attractive, you're just not attractive. It's just, to me, it's beyond the color of your skin. Like, what is that? Anyway, my uncle's wife, she was inviting me to come to Jamaica. Come to Jamaica, because they have a big house. He was a dentist, or he was a what's it called? Denturist. He made dentures, and so he had money. Very much an entrepreneurial minded. All his kids have businesses. And so I'm like, girl, I'm not going to Jamaica. I'm too Canadian to go to Jamaica without a group of people that know what the heck they're doing. You have to wet the bami before you. Yes, you have to. What do you wet it? Wet it like, what's this? Okay, so what do you say that? Because this is what we do. This is what my mom does. She soaks the bami in milk, and then she fries it in oil, and then you eat it. I like it crispy on the outside, so I wouldn't wet it before I eat it. That is why all these younger people are bleaching their skin. Okay, so tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Because the saying is that the younger people are bleaching their skin because of this idea in the West Indies about being light skinned and being more privileged or being better. I think that's the stupidest thing. Okay, I'm an outside of the box thinker. If you've been following the channel by now, you must know that I don't follow none of this nonsense. To me, beauty, I'm an artist. I can draw. I'm very good with my hands. I used to make designer cakes. So I'm a visual person. If you are purple and you're not attractive, you're not gonna be attractive light skin or dark skin. What does the complexion, the color of your skin have to do with anything? When you wet it, it doesn't absorb. Okay, that's why my mom soaks it in oil. I mean, she soaks it in milk first. Yeah, that makes sense now. I still find it oily though. She soaks it in milk, and I fry it for a little bit, and then I put it in the oven and I grill it so that the outside is crunchy, but it's not too oily. In relations to I really have an issue with this light skin thing. I have so much people come to me and tell me how this one lady from Trinidad want to come disrespect me. Mind you, she's not ugly, but I'm not ugly either. I'm not light skinned, but I'm not dark skinned. But I find some, like I said, I've said this before, I find there's some dark-skinned people I've met that are, I had a girlfriend named Sue. She was dark, but she was stunning. Absolutely stunning. One of the most beautiful women I've ever known in my life. And she was dark. But she knew she was pretty. Like, there's sometimes pretty beautiful, you can't run from it. You just, like, you could say light skin all you want, but there's some people, like, it doesn't matter what color you make them, they're just beautiful. And this lady was just absolutely stunning. So beautiful. One of my good friends when I was younger, would you have to sit down together and talk about everything on the I know there's a lot to talk about, but I have had you guys on here for a minute. I enjoyed my morning coffee and talk with you guys. I do have plans to come on later because there's something I wanted to talk about in relation to there must be a reason why the warfare I'm going through, a lot of it has to do with like intimacy and like partnerships and relationships. It has to be. But I want to talk about it. You are. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sometimes I don't feel like it, but I appreciate this. I appreciate that. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. This live is going to be hard to watch again because when I go back and watch it, they're so long. So I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you guys. West Indies in the house. Love you. Until later. I'll talk and check in later. Okay, guys? Love you so much. Remember, you are made marvelous. You're a special generation created for this time. You're not a mistake. I do. Mind you, I'm cool by myself too. Until the right people come into my space, I'm cool. I'm very cool. You know, I'm chilling. I've had a lot of people betray me. A lot of people practice magic, you know, black magic. There's a lot of people in the West Indies who practice witchcraft, and there's a reason why the Lord is teaching me about this and how to fight it. But this platform is still, I'm here. No, I don't know. Hooking up is not a safe thing for me. To be by myself and hooking up with people is not a safe thing to be. But I'm here though. In a day, a bit about, I don't know, 15 years ago, I would have did a meetup, but I can't do that now because my life is kind of like, there's a lot of people who want to see me not living, and I can't play with that. But I'm definitely gonna be. I'm on here almost every day, so I appreciate you. Big up Jamaica, Trinidad, Grenada, Barbados, all you guys. Love you. Until later, okay? If you can check in. Love you.